Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 131. You're here with your host, Nick McCandless. On this week's show, we have Anthony Ta.
Good evening. Or good day, I should say.
People could be listening to in the evening. You never know.
Or maybe they're Australian. Good day.
Or at dusk, if you want to get super technical.
Or dawn. Maybe dawn.
Bronson Fiore.
Or really, really early in the morning.
I listen to podcasts at all hours of the night, so...
Yeah. All right, Bronson Fiore.
Hi, guys.
And his long-awaited return, John Macaluso.
Hello, everybody.
How's everyone's week been? I know the answer to that, but gaming-related, how has everyone's week been? Because everyone's week here besides John's has sucked. So
yeah, man.
I hate to ask that, and everyone would be like, "Oh, it sucks, and everyone. Then if it's the first time someone's listening to this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is a depressing podcast. I don't think I want to listen to this."
Bunch of negative Nancy's on here.
We had that problem on the Super Senpai Bros on Sunday, I believe it was. Like, we finished The Last of Us. That's done. We're gonna move to Sunset Overdrive soon. But like, Ray and I were bummed out for two totally different reasons. And, like, it was just like, this is the super sad Senpai Bros. That's all this is. And, apparently a lot of, like, it basically just became this stream of 40 people all complaining about different shit. That's basically what it became. It's just a whole bunch of people, like me, Ray, and most of our listeners, just all had something different to complain about. And just became this giant, like, sadness party.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, no, it was fucking weird as shit. Like, I did not.
It's like I said before we even started recording. It's something about the summer, dude. Like, I'm telling you, like, that's when shit just happens for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah, like, I would agree with that. I definitely. I mean, last summer I told the story on the podcast during story time about Weed Girl.
Weed Girl.
Like,
what a great way to be remembered, Weed Girl.
Weed Girl.
The funny thing is, I'm actually still friends with that person because that was like, we're not gonna date because you're way too like, I don't mind if you smoke weed. I mind if you smoke that much weed. And also carry that.
That's what my friends you call a pothead.
And also,
or Weed Girl works.
Weed Girl. I will go with Weed Girl. I like
that.
Weed Girl
sounds
better.
Like some really, really, really mediocre comic book character.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if such a thing does exist somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Some superhero that like saves humanity by smoking weed. And realizing her true potential.
That would be Blunt Man and Chronic.
Yeah, that's like the thing Kevin Smith did, actually. Blunt Man and Chronic. But, no, like, this happened, like, it's, like, I'm not going to say what happened over the weekend, but, like, the shitty thing that happened over the weekend happened, like, it's, like, almost a year exactly after Weed Girl, and I'm like, fuck Memorial Day, oh my god. This is the worst holiday ever.
I'm just gonna say that summer sucks.
No, my summers are typically A-okay.
I'm just saying on my end. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Okay. Yeah,
granted, that was only one summer, and no, it wasn't a relationship. But for some reason, I've had an entire summer wrecked before, and I'm just like,
Yeah, and then Nick, fucking one of our Twitch users, deciphered what was going on with you real fucking quick. Like I got the news through fucking Twitch before I heard it from you. So I was just like,
yeah, that's really weird because I never I did recently, but I never deliberately put out there what had happened. I mean, I still haven't put out there what happened, and I'm not going to discuss it on the podcast or publicly. But yeah, that's super weird. Like. And I was like, who told you? And you told me someone in the chat. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, like, they just, like, assumed from the shit you were posting on Twitter and whatnot. I'm just like, who the fuck does that? Like,
We love you because I know I'm sure you're listening. We love you. We're just saying that it's weird.
I can tell you which Twitch user it was.
Yeah,
you
told me who it was.
It was Mighty Meat Stick, and I was just like,
we love you, Mighty Meat Stick.
We do.
We love
actually,
you.
I love it.
It's very interesting how you found that out.
Yeah, he just Nick was posting kind of bummer things on fucking Twitter, and then he gave some other evidence, and I'm like I check my text messages 2 hours later, and I find out that is in fact true, and I'm like, wow, what the fuck? We got some private eyes out there. Fucking goddamn! If I ever need to find out who did something, I'm calling Mighty Meat Stick. Fuck hiring a real PI. This is just as good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but that was weird as shit. Yeah, I don't know. We all, pretty much everyone except John kind of had bummer weekends. So, it's
Happy
been...
Memorial Day, guys.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day.
Very happy Memorial Day. Actually, you can't be happy because it is the day where we remember the troops.
And
it's like, man, you can't really say Happy Memorial Day.
I mean, I use it as a day to remember the dead in general. So for me, I think of other, I also think of my dad and shit. I'm just like,
that's not good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a depressing day no matter what happens.
Yeah, that was gonna be a bad day because you're either remembering fallen troops, remembering dead people, but then you pile other shit on top of it, and you're like, well, fuck my life. And then in my case, I work what is essentially a government job, but it's hourly. So, I missed 5 days because of the holiday weekend. And it's fucking my check on June 12th. Or no, my check this week actually is going to feel that. Yeah, I don't know, man. It is a very weird, unfortunate weekend that we all had.
So on to happier things, video games.
Oh yeah, video game.
Yeah, video games aren't too bad.
I blew after my bad day, I went online and played someone in Madden and won 62-7. So that's
a beating.
That's how I deal with my frustration.
Well, while we're talking about Madden, I know you guys saw John beat me in Madden when we streamed. Well, John and I played and I beat him, so now John and I are 1-1. But honestly, I don't even care about the record between John and I. I just want one of us to beat Bronson. I don't care who it is.
If we're including the intern, then my record against the staff is 2-1 for 7-1.
That is awful. Good God.
And yeah.
Well, there's Bronson and there's everyone else.
And then
I may have had a slight fighting chance when I was playing Madden 13 a few years ago. But that was Madden 13 a few years ago. I'm not joking. I put up a really good defense. I just can't score.
Yeah, see, Anthony, I told Anthony before this, I was like, here's how we beat Bronson, okay? We have Anthony and I play. I play the offense, Anthony plays the defense. Because my offense is where I'm strong. Defense is what I suck at.
Although, mind you, this is with, the 2012 Chicago Bears defense, which was actually really good back in the day. But it sucked. So, yeah.
So that's what we need to do.
I'm not
we need
joking,
to have Anthony. Anthony and I need to play against Bronson, and maybe we can beat him. Have Anthony play defense, me play offense, and then we can maybe take Bronson down.
That's the problem. It's then Bronson's gonna use the excuse of, well, it took 2 people to take down 1 big guy. So that's gonna be a struggle. Okay,
we're already at the point where we need to hire Tom Brady to deflate his head.
And because the intern's the intern, we'll put him on special teams.
Special teams is a very critical part of the game.
It actually is, yes. It's gotten very critical ever since Devin Hester kind of came in and tore up the place. But anyways, yeah, defensively, I don't know, I could just somehow call out really good defensive plays without ever having to resort to an audible. That is kind of scary because I was so bad on offense that I would start obsessing over defensive details. And I'm not joking, when I watched Bronson play NCAA online, and he was having this issue stopping running the ball. For some reason, I'm just like, just try nickel 2-man under man coverage, and it actually stopped the dude from rushing. Like, my rush defense is scary. I'm not joking. Like, my pass defense, okay, you could probably find a hole in it somewhere because I tend to call about the same 5 or 6 defensive plays. But as far as my rushing defense, good luck.
Anthony, we've never played against each other, have we?
No, we haven't. And I haven't played in a really long time. Like, I'm used to Madden 13, and I'm pretty sure they changed quite a bit since then. Like, every 3 or 4 years is a good enough leap to get into a Madden game. So who knows? Maybe I'll get this year's or next year's.
I'd be interested in playing you, Anthony.
I played all 3 of you, and I can tell you exactly what all of you do wrong and what all of you do right.
How about we move the conversation?
Yeah, let's move along. I do want to say really quickly, if you're a Bears fan, it was a bad day for you because Ray McDonald got arrested again. So, no Ray McDonald for you guys.
Wait, who?
Ray McDonald. You guys signed Ray McDonald after he got cut from the 49ers. And he's had this horrible past, and now he got arrested again for assault on a kid.
So,
rest assured, Anthony,
what position does he play?
Defensive line.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's
Anthony. It was $0 guaranteed, dude. So don't worry.
Well, yeah.
It was just a hit in reputation.
Okay, because I have stopped paying attention to football since the Bears started to suck, and because I can't watch Sunday Night Football on my computer anymore because they're like, sign in with your cable company. I'm just like, nope. I just stopped watching it because it used to be I would watch Sunday Night Football games while doing my work, and I would watch until usually the 4th quarter, and then I stopped because
you guys were getting hurt so bad.
I don't know. Watching the Bears is like, the thing is that the Bears actually do pretty well on Sunday night. Like, they in 2013 they beat the Steelers, and Nick had a heart attack, and especially when Matt Forte ran for about 30 or 40 yards. And
yeah.
Anyways, and the Bears actually spoiled the 49ers opening night of their brand new stadium. So that was also on Sunday night.
That's gotta
suck. We can all
you get
celebrate
a brand new stadium, and your first game there you lose. That's got to be the freaking worst.
Man,
I would feel bad if it was the Niners.
Not only do you lose in a fucking comeback.
When Jay Cutler plays well, he plays really well, but that's a if.
Yeah, but that's only 10% of the time.
I just say it's like flipping a coin. In my opinion, it's just like
it's literally like watching him in Denver. It is literally a coin flip on what version of Jay Cutler you are going to get.
When he plays well, he plays really well, and he could throw the football really far. But when he sucks.
He sucks.
I mean, he has an 82.3 QB rating, which isn't too bad until you realize he has the highest interception count in the league. Yeah, like, that's the catch. There you go.
Yeah,
he has a pretty decent QB rating, but interceptions.
Well, let's move on from football, because I'm sure we have people who just don't care about football.
Look, it's better than talking about PCs. At least football is something popular out there.
Yeah, but PC gaming is more related than football because
that's true.
Well, we talked
PC
about
gaming
Madden.
is still gaming.
Well, we talked about Madden.
Let's get on to the news. So the PlayStation Plus games have been announced for June. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes for PlayStation 4. If you haven't already played that.
Yeah, great. I already have it, but cool.
Goals None of us have ever played that. Bonafide Edition for PlayStation 4, which is a turn-based strategy game.
That's an alright game. If you like that genre, you'll probably really like it.
For PS Vita and PlayStation 4, Super Exploding Zoo.
That sounds interesting.
For PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4, Futuridium EP Deluxe.
That actually did look cool. Like I looked at the videos for that. That game actually kind of looks kind of neat.
For PS3, Call of Juarez Gunslinger.
Ugh, why?
And also for PS3, Cloudberry Kingdom.
That game is actually also really good. I don't know, this is kind of a mediocre month, especially for
I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 Ground Zero is great, but anyone who wanted to play that would have played it by now. So,
like that game, used is like $10 in most places.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have PS Plus and you haven't played it, definitely play it because it's. I mean, for free, it's good. It's good even if you pay for it. It's just really, really short. Definitely play it, especially with the new one coming out.
Yeah, that's coming.
I would definitely play it before the Phantom Pain comes out for sure.
Yeah, because it leads right into the Phantom Pain. So I mean, That is the catch there.
Yeah. So at least no one has an excuse to not play the Ground Zeroes now. So, but yeah, nothing too great. Games for Gold hasn't been announced yet, but I'm sure by next week we'll know that. So they'll probably announce that shit tomorrow. That tends to happen.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
The news that we wait on tends to be announced the day after we record, but really the day before we release it. So people are probably like, "Oh, why the hell did you not talk about this?"
We have to know by Sunday because Games with Gold actually go up the day that they're like the first of the month.
Yeah.
So, and I hope they do something fucking big for E3 because, like, god damn it, like this past month, like PlayStation Plus is like consistently okay.
Well, and here's the thing, and I discussed this. People are like, man, PlayStation Plus the game selection doesn't seem to be like what it used to be, and it's of course not. It's like, think about it, okay? So with the PS3, you bought PlayStation Plus because of the free games. Yeah, there was new features, but you bought it because of the free games that came with it. But now you have to have PlayStation Plus to play games online. So now Sony really doesn't have to work hard for your money because they know you're going to play online, so you're going to buy PlayStation Plus. So that's the problem.
I've said this before, but back then in the day, PlayStation Plus was also new. You basically had to convince people, and you have to convince a lot of people here, because Xbox Live is just like, yeah, you pay us $50, but we give you the superior in quotes, online service. We give you better socializing features, and we're bringing you far more channels of media content than you can ever imagine. Whereas in the case of Sony, they just came out with PlayStation Plus, and they have to convince people. Like, PS3 has free online, which is great for a while, but they have to convince people, so why should I pay $50 a year for your service? And it's not like they could throw a Steam sale for PS Plus members. So, yeah.
I mean, they do that sometimes.
Games.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that they still do put out good months every now and then. Like, February was fucking great with Rogue Legacy and Transistor. Both those games are fantastic. But I also think that, I can't remember the last time, like, on Plus where I was like, I have to fucking download this game before February. So, like, that's March, April, and May. We're all kind of, what was it? Versus Xbox, which this May for Xbox was fucking horrible. Like, games with gold in May, what the hell? But in the previous month, they had Child of Light and Rayman, and that's awesome. And those are both awesome games. We did 60-minute access of Rayman. It was a great game. We did. I played some Child of Light that it placed in our Game of the Year awards last year. Both those games are great. I'm just kind of curious to when they're gonna go back to the way they were, I guess is the way I should put it. Because it used to be like every month I'd be super excited, and like this month I'm kind of like that's okay. Like Cloudberry Kingdom seems neat. That EP game seems neat, but nothing where I'm like I have to play this fucking game. It's all just this is okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this month. Oh well.
I'm not a fan of this week either, oddly enough.
I don't think any of us are. Okay, moving along. Also, with Sony, E3 is like right around the corner, guys. I know everyone on the podcast right now are going to be there. So for everyone wondering what the roster for this year is going to be, all the guys. So it's going to be me, Bronson, Anthony, John, and Bremen, and then we're also going to have Tori. So the only staff member, so that's who we're going to have. So we'll have a total of 6 people. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be the first E3 for John and Tori. It's going to be the second for Bronson, Bremen, and Anthony, and it's going to be my 5th E3, I think. So, but I'm still looking forward to it. I still cannot wait. So
yeah, it's the of things I am looking forward to. It is number 1, and by far. Yeah, man. I'm super excited. I'm super excited to sit. I'm kind of curious how John is going to react to it, because like I know how I reacted to my first one, where like everything is amazing and I want to take pictures of fucking everything, and just and now while I'm excited, I will definitely be more calm this time around. So
yeah, you guys saw what happened the first time I went to E3. We don't have to go into too many details, but I went freaking insane.
Yeah, like
you guys have seen the video.
Yeah, like
John has not. I gotta show John that but the thing is, if I show John that, he's like not even gonna think of me as the same person anymore.
What video now?
The limousine video.
Oh yeah, the fucking limo.
Anthony's like, oh,
see,
that
I don't
shit
remember,
that should just be buried and never revealed to the public ever.
Well, here's the thing, is that I don't think I've seen the video, but I kind of have an idea of what it's like, because can you imagine 17-year-old Nick McFresh at E3 showing up in a full-on SUV limo with Jessica Negri and one other person? If you guys don't believe...
Two other women.
Okay, so 3 then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't believe this, just look up on the Gamer Access, just type in Nick McCandless and Jessica Negri. They actually did have a PS3
Jessica
360 debate or something like that. Nick
we covered E3 together that year. If you guys look at the E3 coverage going back that far, she did a couple interviews for me.
If you want to look at some whacked up stuff, look at like 2011. That was a weird year.
Well, no, here's the thing. If you guys really want to see something from me, like if you ever want to feel like I'm a complete loser and feel like, dude, you're fucking weird and you're like way into yourself, look up Nick McCandless limousine experience. That's all I'm saying. You will find it. That's all. Type it into Google, Nick McCandless limousine.
Are we gonna ever see this again? Like,
it's on the internet. So
no. This like, we're gonna see this again in the future.
Yeah, like in the future.
Except we'll all have suits. And
I actually want to discuss this.
Well, no, what I think we should do, and this is a plan I want to do, and I kind of did it that year, but it wasn't executed correctly. Here's what I want to do, because I think it would be absolutely freaking hilarious, and it'd be the best thing ever, and it'd make great content. Maybe we can plan this for next year. We pick either like me, or we just pick someone, like you're going to be the designated celebrity, okay? We'll pick one of us. That person will be the designated celebrity. Everyone else is going to be like his security team. So everyone else is going to be wearing suits, like black sunglasses, wearing suits. And then we'll have 1 or 2 other people that are going to be the paparazzis. So we stage something like right outside of E3 where the celebrity's walking, like playing it cool. We have what his Secret Service, and then we have paparazzis taking photos just to see how people fucking react. It'll be great. It'll be so freaking great.
So
I've got an idea. We're gonna need to save up a lot of money because we're gonna need. Oh well, actually, we have the limo service. Never mind. If we don't have the limo, we could pull up a.
Bless you.
Thank you. we can rent like a Suburban.
No, I can get the limousine taken care of, especially if it's only for temporary. Yeah, I can get that. I'm connected.
Yeah,
out here.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the limo's gonna be.
The limousine absolutely freaking needed.
I suggest like Nick, you're gonna have to figure out some song to blare on the radio as we show up.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
There is like a 100% chance I'm going to agree with what Bronson's about to say, so I want him to say it. Go for it, Bronson.
Damn it! Fuck. God. Okay. So this E3, I was thinking at minimum everyone on camera, and preferably everyone going to our appointments, wears a suit. I'm very pro suit.
John seconds this motion.
Look, when you put a suit on, first impressions are very important. Everyone's gonna look and just be like, dude, these guys, like Nintendo last year, they showed up in like a bunch of previous gen Cadillac Escalades. That was it. Kind of low key. Didn't really draw too much attention to themselves, other than the fact that that says Nintendo on the side drove up to Sony's press conference.
Yeah, I would be more for that next year. This year, I definitely think that we should all be wearing like dress shirts and stuff like that, though. Like not like super fancy clothes, but nice clothing.
I was planning to do polos, so yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly just because I don't own any dress. Like
You guys saw what I wore last year. I think I wore all dress shirts. I might have wore a polo one day, but I'm gonna be wearing all dress shirts.
Yeah, I don't own fucking dress shirts. That's the thing. Like I have two settings. Like actually three: casual, polo, and suit. That's it.
So you have no in between a polo and a suit. You just go straight from polo to suit. See, with me, I have the casual, which is like t-shirts. Then I have the polos. Then I have the dress shirts. Then I have, before I even go to the suit, I have the dress shirt with a vest, and then I have the suit.
Oh,
like I could pull out the vest if I really wanted to get fancy, but I think I'm gonna rock just dress shirts.
Yeah, I wear polos every day. Just ask Bronson.
It was so weird the first time I ever saw fucking Anthony without a fucking polo shirt. It was the weirdest shit I had ever seen.
Yeah, we were at CES. We were at CES, and obviously I'm like working in bed. I'm working on the bed, just sitting there eating lots of nuggets.
All the chicken nuggets.
All the chicken nuggets, because it was cheap food and I had the gift card. So, it was just me burning through nuggets because I need something clean-ish to eat while editing all of these videos for CES. And obviously a polo shirt's a little bit thick, and I'm in the hotel room, and it's warm enough in the hotel room, and this was before Bronson discovered the ability to refrigerate every hotel room he steps in, so...
That's... yeah.
So, the room was actually livable,
I actually have an agreement with Tori, and that's like, she likes it super warm, I like it super cold. So we bargained, and it is to be 65 degrees.
That's perfectly fine.
Freezing.
Nick, that's fine. Look, Nick, 65 degrees is like the average temperature of a room up here in Reno during the winter, when it's like 40 degrees out. 65 is fine. You just wear long sleeves and you're fine. Or you adapt to it like I do.
I tried to get it to 60. I truly tried, but
for me, 65.
See, that's the thing with Bronson. Like, you don't even have to get a hotel room or a refrigerator for him. You just fucking everyone keeps their food in the same room as Bronson. He keeps his room so freaking cold.
You
can keep raw meat in his rooms. So freaking cold in there.
And that's probably the room that we're going to be recording podcasts in. So yay! So John, I hope you enjoy the cold.
Yeah, well, I have a really simple way to fix that, and that is to like wear a sweatshirt or something.
Yeah, like it's definitely a lot easier to get a room to be cold or get warm in a cold room than it is to get the other way around.
Yeah, because if it gets hot, then you just gotta strip naked, and that could get pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't mind, Nick.
Just
I know you don't, John.
Just new podcasting. That's where we're going. That's E3 2016.
They don't have to know.
We'll call
it's
it
all
the
audio.
free-spiriting E3.
Yeah. This year will be the Gamer Access versus the Electronic 3. Next year, Free Spirit E3. There we go.
But just imagine me with like a regular T-shirt on.
It's like, here's the thing, you don't ever think about this. Like this thought never comes to your fucking mind that Anthony only wears polos.
That would be weird now that I think about it.
I only wear polos outside of the house. Like, even when John came over for us to film building that computer, I put on a polo. Maybe I didn't actually. I probably didn't.
I remember commenting on it once, thinking like, "Whoa, Anthony, it's weird seeing you in something not a polo."
So, like, it was just weird as shit to see that at CES. Like, Aaron and I have come in from the CES is huge. Like, it's the biggest one as far as actually.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 times the size of E3, probably 3 times, maybe 4 times. It's freaking massive.
And about 90% of it is phone cases. But like, I remember when we like come in, and to tell you how much we've been walking, it hurt to put our bare feet on carpet. Like that is how much we walked. And
to walk from the north end to the south end is like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
and a lot of cigarette smoke.
Smoke.
I mean, like, really, there's a lot of cigarette smoke. Like, some pretty interesting things because people from all over the world come here. So you get people from Asia who are probably concerned that they're going to get sick, which is rightly so when you're talking about some place that packed. So you have some people with, like, the medical breathing... those white cotton face masks.
Yeah, the mask.
Yeah, you just said a mask.
And obviously the casinos, lots of gambling, and smoking. Quite a bit of smoking outside. So you walk from the north end to the south end, your legs are tired, you're kind of panting as you're lugging all this equipment while walking like a freaking entire quarter mile at least, while breathing in all the cigarette smoke. And I didn't know that in the back of the convention center, they actually had golf carts between the central and south hall.
That was fucking hilarious. They have them between the central and south and the
how
the
big
north
it is.
And central. Yeah. So like Aaron and I found that on day 2, and we just thought you guys fucking knew. So like when we got there, and we like told you at the last day, like you looked shocked.
Yeah, I didn't know.
No,
and that was the second time I'd been there.
Another fun one is the press gets free lunches at CES. If you can get there in time. Like, I think we got there like 20 minutes late, and that shit was picked clean. Like, all those press
Of course, there's hundreds of thousands of people there.
Like, this is like the International Consumer Electronics Show, and it's like, and if there's anything that you can get a human being to show up to, free food.
I
think we showed up like an hour or like 45 minutes early, just so we can get a sandwich.
And there was still a fucking line. That was like at that point I was just like, fuck it, it's worth paying for this ridiculous
midnight lunch of food, everybody.
Yeah, like
or the 12 p.m. lunch of food, I should say.
Yeah, like it was at the point where I was just like, this is not worth the trouble.
Oh yeah, do you know how much it would cost if they had to give free food to everyone there? It probably cost them millions of dollars.
Yeah, and CES can't really afford that. But they did have enough if you showed up like 45 minutes, at least 45 minutes early.
Yeah, we did that once because like we're like, well, we don't want to pay for food, and then like after realizing that like the shit you have to go through to get that free food, it is worth paying for lunch, even though the Las Vegas Convention Center's prices for food are probably the worst I've ever seen, and that includes fucking LA's Convention Center. Off my observation, which the LA Convention Center like got raped super hardcore for.
Well, yeah, because I know people aren't going to leave the convention center to go eat because it takes too much time.
Yeah, like that.
There isn't even a place nearby, and if there was, it would be crowded like around the clock. Speaking of crowded, shuttle buses completely useless.
Oh, forget about that. Yeah, if you want to wait 3 hours,
like I would stand there and I'm like, there has been a bus here for like 10-15 minutes, and there's a line that's stretching like halfway down.
That's why you rent a car. That's your solution.
And if you rent a car, parking is like $40 a day. I mean, you can find a lot for $20 if you show up early enough, but even then, that's like you still have to walk about half a mile at least.
I actually want to like sit one day and weigh the cost of what is cheapest between just getting a hotel close to the convention center versus like paying for a rental car, or if you don't, or like just paying for parking and gas.
Any
and shit.
Hotel close to the convention center has already been booked by Megacorps, so good luck.
Exactly. The companies take those things over.
I mean, the Stratosphere is not so bad as long as you're inside. I remember I had to make that walk from the convention center all the way down, all the way to the Stratosphere. And the sun was going down, it was going to get cold, and I didn't have my sweatshirt, even though it was a 73-degree day, but it's the Nevada desert. So, that was great, walking along the street, walking by the abandoned Sahara casino, and I'm just like... and then when I got back to the hotel room, I could literally feel the bone inside my arm still frozen.
Man, you want to
and then, of course, when Bronson and Aaron came back, they had the pleasant surprise of me staring at them in a really, really creepy kind of way before I passed out again.
Like, Anthony was, like, dead asleep. Then he, like, woke up for, like, 3 seconds, stared at us with this, like he was gonna, like, murder us, and then just immediately passed back out.
I don't know why I did that. I remember it too. I just remember hearing you guys. I just like bolted up. I just stared and I'm just like, oh, it's Aaron and Bronson. And then I just lay back down and just like, boom. just knocked out again.
That's funny yet weird.
Yeah, and I knew that, with my eyes just bulging like that, I'm pretty sure they were that Bronson Air just looked at each other and they're like, "Is he okay? Are we gonna die now?"
Yeah, like it was, dude. That was a weird trip.
I wear a polo shirt and give the death stare. No, it wasn't a death stare. It was just
it was just like
weird, wide-eyed situation.
Yeah, like that was a weird stare.
Well, all right, moving on from and event experiences. I know we could go on for hours about the stuff that I know I certainly can, but we won't get into that. More news. 2 industry insiders who have proven themselves to be pretty reliable in the past have said that Sony will be showing off 2 unannounced games behind closed doors at E3, which means they'll probably be announcing 2 games during the press conference that we know nothing about, and then be showing it to the press. That's good. I'm hoping there's more than 2.
So a friend of mine is trying to get into acting and modeling and stuff, and gets like job opportunity emails, and one of them was for at E3, a model for a God of War game. So there is going to be something related to God of War or God of War at E3. It might just be that remastered thing.
Yeah, I'll probably just be the remaster. I would like to see a new God of War though.
That'd be cool. I think that doing that with like Viking mythology would be neat. That would be the coolest shit ever. And
yeah,
that's really weird.
Try it with another protagonist. I think that'd be cool. Like, I like Kratos, but although I don't know, part of me says Sony won't do that because Kratos is such a valuable name.
Oh yeah, Kratos is fucking like he is their mascot. It's like him and Nathan Drake are really their only 2.
God of War 4 on PlayStation 4. Check out that view.
Oh,
more blood and ways of killing gods. Oh, Joe.
Oh, go. Yep.
I'm just like the way Kratos went about blowing up the Greek world in God of War 3 it looked pretty awesome, but at the same time, I'm just like, holy crap, Kratos, you need a bit of help, man.
Like where the fuck do you go
really
after...
like the fact that you do all of this crap and you blow up the Greek world and then at the end you get that, you're just like, dude, I think you might need a little bit of help. I understand. Yeah.
Just
the thing with me is like, where the fuck do you go after God of War 3? Like, you can't take Kratos anywhere. So you have to.
You could try God of War 1.5. I mean, Ascension.
Like, you do prequels, but then like none of those are gonna be able to do what that did, because in that game, in like 3, you're fighting the gods and titans, and it's like nothing's gonna be that ridiculous. That's why after 3, I was like, okay, you guys, you have left yourself nowhere to go. There's nowhere to fucking go from here. Everyone is dead except for possibly Kratos. What the fuck is gonna happen? Like that. So yeah, that was my opinion on that.
Right, you could come up with a story for every single year of his life. So that's like you could come up with like maybe 65 Uncharted stories before he hits retirement.
Yeah, like and then you can do a Sully spin-off. Like there's a lot more you can do with Uncharted. That's no doubt about that. And also there have been far less Uncharted games. Like God of War, we've got 3 prequels, 3 main series games. It's enough. So.
But the blood, the violence.
Oh, I love
the
God of
epic.
War. I have a blast every time I play those games.
God of War is not my type of game, but I like God of War 3 is kind of nice.
Yeah, like I enjoy...
Like the first game was I forced myself as far as I could, and I just got to Pandora's
Tower. Yeah,
the Pandora's box, and I just sat there and I'm just like, so this is what everyone means when this place is a total pain.
The thing you need to understand about that game, though, is, like, at the time, that game was fucking insane. Like, just no one did scale or set pieces like that, like, really ever before that. Like, that game... The reason that game is so just, like, people probably have this, nostalgia for it is because at the time, that Hydra sequence was like, oh my god. That is, like, the most impressive shit I've ever seen in a game ever. Versus now, like, even the shittiest games will have moments like that. But, now, like, back then, in 2005, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Moving along, also dealing with Sony and their lack of games that we know about. It does not seem too promising here, guys. Are you guys ready to hear what Andrew House had to say at the recent investor meeting? Are you guys ready?
I'm ready to be disappointed. Lay it on me.
My body is ready.
Hi, Reggie.
Okay, 1 second. I somehow lost my... Okay, here we go. I lost the news story for some reason. All right, so be prepared to be a bit upset because Andrew House says that he believes getting good third-party content is key, as Sony is very well aware that their first-party offerings for 2015 are not that good.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, guys, good. I mean, fucking A. Oh, this is just. Oh no. Like, they better, like.
What is all of your studios doing,
like,
Mr. House?
Like, they have 25 fucking studios, and, like, you count the ones that you discount the ones that put out games recently. Okay, so, like, that means they have, like, 20 studios doing fucking essentially nothing.
Well, they're not necessarily doing nothing. They just, maybe 2016 will be the fucking year that they're just like, okay, holy shit, we've got, like, 10 fucking great games coming out. So, here's exactly what Andrew House said. He said, quote, "We are working very hard to continue very strong support from third-party publishers and developers. Our first-party lineup is a little sparse this year, so I think this places even greater emphasis on getting good third-party support."
In other words, we're going to have like 90% multiplats, probably some of the best indie exclusives of the year, and if you want a big-budget exclusive, fuck you, go buy an Xbox.
Yeah, he also said, "I will admit that these are, in the current publishing landscape, few and far between, but we are able to announce a full exclusive around a franchise like Street Fighter, so that Street Fighter 5 is a complete exclusive for PlayStation 4. Although given publishing dynamics and development costs, these are increasingly difficult to secure."
Hey, guess what? Street Fighter's not exclusive because it's on the motherfucking PC.
But the best experience can only be found on PlayStation. They said that.
and
like, you remember that slogan they had on the Destiny to try and make it sound exclusive, even though it really isn't?
Like, some of it
the best Destiny experience is only on PlayStation.
Yep.
Yeah, he also said, "I will characterize 2015 as the beginning of a harvest period for the PlayStation 4 platform. The beginning of a harvest period. That being said, we are also undertaking to invest in the future, and 2015 will also be a year of investment." So pretty much what he's saying,
that supposed to be last year?
Much what he's saying is, if you were hoping Sony comes out and announces a ton of shit for 2015, good luck. They're going to probably announce a ton of shit for 2016. So my guess is that for PlayStation 4 owners, it's gonna suck this year again. But 2016 will probably kick ass.
A year of investments. Wasn't that supposed to be last year?
Like, what? Isn't the first year?
Ronson and I sat down and we're like, so quite literally, we went through the release list, and the only 3 PlayStation 4 exclusives that we could give for the top 3 list was Infamous, a game related to Infamous, and a car game. That's it. We literally did not even have an honorable mention.
Like an Xbox didn't have this fucking world-beating exclusive lineup last year, but like Sunset Overdrive was great. Forza was fucking good. Dance Central and D4 were both cool games. Like
Halo came out and was a mess.
Yeah, but now that game is A-okay. Like, and you look at this year, like, Xbox has a huge jump on this year. Yeah, Bloodborne's huge. Bloodborne's a fucking amazing game, and thank God, because PlayStation needed it. But, man, you look at every other title, it's like, everything else is coming out on another platform. Like, you are like, what else came out this year? Oni and the Blind Forest, great game, only on Xbox and PC. Fucking Monster Hunter is on 3DS. God, this has been the beginning of this year has kind of been so far, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, Sony needs fucking something.
Yeah. So here's what my prediction is. We're not gonna go into full predictions because obviously that'll be the podcast before E3. But my prediction is that Sony is going to come out and they'll probably announce one big game we don't know about yet. They'll probably announce one big game that's coming out this year, and they're going to rely on that. And then they'll probably announce a few other big games, but they'll be coming out 2016. Ratchet and Clank, that's already said to be coming out in 2016.
Is that their fucking ace in the hole, really? Like, I love Ratchet and Clank, probably more than most people. And is that really their fucking ace in the hole this year?
Well, no, Ratchet and Clank's not coming out till next year.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well then. Jesus
Christ. So that's not coming out till next year. So at this current point, we don't know of anything that is only from Sony.
Guys, like, seriously, people, it's like Drive Club. Yeah, Drive Club is still pretty darn awesome, but that studio's kind of been downsized pretty badly. And Gran Turismo's not going to happen for like another year or two.
Like, I'd say
it's going to be like the most beautiful thing ever when it comes out.
Oh yeah, when it comes out. In 2023.
Although there is one exclusive we're forgetting about that's coming out actually relatively soon. There was a release date announced, which will be the next news story. But yeah,
I mean, they got that fucking God of War remaster, but like God of War 3 is only 5 years old, for one thing. God of War 3 already looked great. Like, it's not like Halo 2 or Final Fantasy X, where these games are just so old and look like crap on their, like, that game still looks really good if you play it now. And like,
yeah, like I said, I think Sony's gonna have one big game this year. That's what they make it sound like.
Like,
please don't tell me they're gonna, like, for like the second year in a row, just gonna be like, yeah, our first party lineup sucks more than Nintendo. Like, Nintendo has like Star Fox this year, and what else came out?
Yoshi is supposed to come out this year.
Okay, so Woolly World's happening this year.
And then, like, Mario Maker is a maybe. So, take that how you will.
Yeah, so, I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's just like the PS3. It took a few years to actually get the games going. But the difference, what really surprises me, is that at least with the PS3, it was like this crazy, ridiculous architecture that no one knew how to work with. But this, it's like it's a PC pretty much. So that's what surprises me is that, I don't know, I think part of it, Sony's like selling so many consoles right now, just the motivation's probably lacking right now. But what they need to realize is if they don't pick it up like now, then they're gonna start trailing.
Was it like Xbox, like Jack Tretton just like sit at his desk and then just sensed the future? Maybe this is why Jack Tretton left. Yeah, he probably just sat there and sensed the future, and he's like, "This is not good." And then he just resigns when the note is still good. When PlayStation 4 is the savior of ethical gaming or something like that,
Yeah, like
yeah. I mean, you guys never got to see him. Since your guys' first E3 was the year after.
We basically met.
Seeing Jack Tretton present in person, he was. I mean, that Sony press conference was always the one I looked forward to the most, simply because of the fact that Jack Tretton was an awesome, awesome, awesome person to lead a press conference. I mean, he was his onstage presence and how he delivered was. I mean, yes, Phil Spencer is good, but it's not even close. And you guys never got the joy of seeing Don Matrick perform. That was always great, with that great grin on his face and everything.
Yeah, man.
That was
I wanted to just.
You guys missed out big time there.
The joy of never seeing Don Matrick. Oh man, I missed out.
I wanted to sit in that Connect presentation because of two things. One, they pay you with a free Xbox to put up with that shit. Two, you get to look around and just see everyone's face just like, the F is this.
Oh, yeah, that was before fucking Anthony and I were working for TGA. Yeah, that was a dumb
that was
year.
just before. It was just...
I'll never forget Skittles. Come here, Skittles.
I just remember the whole fact that they tried to make holding a steering wheel in the air with your arms, kart racing. Eat my dust, y'all.
I know what you're talking about, Anthony. That was like the coolest thing ever.
I remember
it was just as cool as Wii Music.
Wii Music was pretty darn awful.
I remember the year before when they showed it off as like Project Natal, and like before that they had that Tony Hawk skateboarding game that everyone demoed that had a skateboard peripheral, and then obviously no one knows what Microsoft was showing besides fucking Microsoft. So they had no idea that they were going to show the Project Natal, like hold a skateboard up to the camera, and now there's a skateboarding game that it's motion control. Like if you were working at Activision on that game, you just like saw that and were like, son of a bitch. Like that had to be your first thought.
I mean, the one thing I really wish would have came out was freaking Milo. I really wanted to experience that. He would have been a great person to go to for my emotional problems lately. He had been a great kid to talk to.
Maybe he has a future in he has a much creepier future in HoloLens. I'll just say that.
I'm fucking Peter Molyneux is
he is the one to make something sound like it's gonna be the greatest thing to grace Earth, and it's really not.
He probably has the vision. He probably has like great vision.
Great vision, horrible execution.
Yeah, he probably could pick. Like if you basically gave him a pen and said, "Sell me this pen," he would like come up with the best, most imaginative way to sell the pen. But he could probably sell you on anything, and that probably kind of bites him a little bit because he could sell anything, including stuff that's probably not as great as it's being promised.
Only game that he published, or that he created, not published, that I was just like, I agree with you, sir. Like I was like, this lived up to promise. Was God, what was it? It was Fable 2. Like that was the only game of his where I was just like, this is not a trail of disappointment and terribleness. It was actually like a really legit great game.
Yeah, I bet Fable Legends is gonna be pretty bad. I mean, every time I see that game, it looks like a freaking Shrek video game. That's the first thing I think of. Like, they even have that one character that looks like Lord Farquaad. Like, it seriously looks just like Shrek. Every time I watch it, I'm like, that's like the Shrek video game right there.
That game had a really neat idea that I would love to see implemented on the Wii U, where it's like, oh, someone's like the dungeon master and everyone else are the players. Like, okay, so let me run this idea past everyone here. Alright, on the Wii U, it's a 5-player game. One person is the DM, or the dungeon master, then everyone else is the players in an RPG.
Well, Wii U sales says blank.
Oh, I am saying that this is a cool idea. I'm not saying that this would actually happen because
somebody make an indie game, please, of that.
Yeah, you could make an indie game like that.
Yeah, like that would be so.
I mean,
fucking
to be
cool.
honest, you're not like asking for like Lord of the Rings grade graphics, although that would be a pretty cool Dungeons and Dragons if you could somehow make make the whole
even if they were like Wind Waker graphics, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the DM gets the pleasure of trying to screw everyone over, and then everyone tries to beat him. Like,
yeah, I would love that game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's like I remember when the Wii U was announced, that was like one of my first thoughts. Then Penny Arcade did a comic mimicking that, and then like no one has come even close to doing anything with that damn fucking screen.
It's like the only two things I've ever seen that's going to get used for anything really special is Wonderful 101, which terrible cameras.
It's terrible. It's fucking awful.
It's like, oh man. I mean, like, it's a novel idea, but I just couldn't help that with that game. They probably could have taken another 3 or 4 months and sorted that out.
Like that game,
you could tell. There's some bits that you just wish, like, yeah, if they spent just a little more time, because that game was like, I think it was delayed initially.
It was supposed to be a fucking launch title, and then it got delayed.
And looking at the game now, you're just like, maybe they could have just, spent maybe another month or 2 on it, and it probably would have been a 9 instead of like an 8.5 or something like that.
Yeah, the Wonderful 101 is an amazing game, but it has a mega shit ton of problems.
It has launch. I nearly said launch control problems. Launch grade kind of issues.
Yeah, like this is.
But
this is
but
like
it's still absolutely amazing, and I love this game. Okay, I fucking love it. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite games of this current console generation. Like, it's just, man, Anthony, wait until you see what is going to happen on the next time we record. Like, you are going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah, because going to space wasn't just cool. Like, going to space isn't enough.
Yeah, John, man, it is a shame you have missed out on the majority of the Wonderful 101, because holy hell.
It's kind of funny because this is the second time that Super Megalogical Playtime has convinced me to run out and buy a game. So Chrono Trigger is our first one. And I watched it just like, dang, this game has a lot of personality and it really shows this is the dream team. So I bought it for the DS when I still could. And yeah, while Frog doesn't really speak in Old English anymore and some of the stuff got rewritten, it was still like one of the best games I've ever played. And then the Wonderful 101, I watched Bronson play, and I watched all those awesome sequences. I'm like, there is no way I could not buy this game, so I bought it.
Hey guys, but Let's Plays, they totally take away from game sales.
Oh yeah, sure. I just watched you play the game, and I'm just like, I gotta buy it. So I went out and bought it.
Yeah, that game. If you have not played the Wonderful 101, like that game is. Like, it has problems.
You've got some really long dragging sequences, yeah.
But, man, is it worth every minute of those problems.
It's the Saturday morning cartoon, and I get stoked every time. I'm just like, what's the next thing they're going to throw in this game? Please tell me now.
Like, every time, like, every act has at least, every act has at least one set piece that's like, oh my fucking god.
Watching it has been pretty sick for what I've seen.
Yeah,
that game is epic.
Yeah, that game, just like every single act has at least one, if not two, sections that are like, this is the most ridiculous shit ever. Oh man. But yeah, I genuinely really enjoyed that game. My problems with it are like, it just lacks polish in certain points, and that's a real bummer thing to say about it, especially considering there are other games like Metal Gear Rising and Bayonetta are extremely polished. Like, they are nothing but. So, but man, if you have a Wii U or have access to a Wii U, you should absolutely play the Wonderful 101.
And you should also absolutely play what should be the proper game of the year.
Bayonetta 2.
Yeah. Seriously, guys, Dragon Age is overrated.
You're right. It should have totally been Shadow of Mordor. I totally agree with that.
And I would be okay with Shadow of Mordor. I understand.
I would have been way more okay with that than I would fucking Dragon Age. Like, I thought Shadow of Mordor was a good game. Like, it just didn't appeal to me for whatever reason. But like, fucking Dragon Age, like, I do not understand how anyone could be like, this was fucking the best game I played all year. This is the most polished, most fun experience on any platform in the year 2014. Like the people who say that are fucking out of their mind. Like you could have told me any other game on that list, and I probably could have like accepted your argument. Like,
did I not tell you Shadow of Mordor?
Oh yeah,
I argued for that game.
Yeah, but then Anthony and I definitely felt it was Bayonetta, and then like the girls only really played Smash, so they were in Smash Corny, and you and fucking Bremen were like, well, out of these three, it is most definitely Dragon Age. And like,
I said I wanted to suggest Smash because it was the least hated on, or the least uncertain, because everyone's played Smash, and we all agree it's a lot of fun when you have friends over. So, and we would play for 2.5 hours. I'm just like, you know what? Of all the games here, this is like the one game that has like the fewest negatives. Like, it's the one that hurts the least. Because Dragon Age, obviously, you and I just like, yeah, we didn't play it, and I'm just like, and I knew at the back of my head, I'm just like, BioWare's not as good as they used to be. Like, that's the thing. They kind of went from like a 9-9-5 kind of team to like an 8-8-5 kind of team now.
Yeah, like oh man.
And meanwhile, Bayonetta was like the biggest smile I had all year in terms of games that came out that year.
There was nothing close to fucking Bayonetta for me. Like, it was just like, this game, every minute I am playing this game, I am enjoying the living hell out of it. Like every other game on my personal top 10 list, I was like, Smash Bros. Single player is kind of mediocre. Infamous isn't that great of a story. Hearthstone is... Actually, Hearthstone... Had I played as much Hearthstone as I did now, like, I probably would have, gotten more behind that game.
Yeah,
like,
I totally agree.
Like, had the staff gotten addicted to that game the way they are now, I think that game could have won Game of the Year, when I think about it. I'm just like, well, I mean, what other game do I play, like, daily? It's fucking Hearthstone. It's really easy
By
to
the way, that tutorial...
Hilarious.
Terrible game designers. I can't beat it.
Currently, I will show you how to do it.
I'm gonna suck at this game. I'm not, yeah. It's like, oh. This game is surprisingly easy to understand its basic concepts.
So I will tell you.
I can't wait to build my deck. I really need to get this done.
Yeah, I run a mage deck,
and it's on my phone. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
it's now on iOS and Android, and I'm just like, oh, good. I get to play this wherever I am. So if Nick and I are stuck in a line, we'll just look at each other and we're just like, hey, you want to play Hearthstone?
Yeah.
Because I do not feel like breaking out my 3DS just to take forever to load up Smash Brothers.
If anything happens where we're waiting for anything at E3, we just play
Stuck in LA Traffic.
Oh, we could play Hearthstone like
Recap
all the way there.
on Wheels. Hearthstone.
No.
Recap on Wheels is because we're stuck in LA Traffic, we tape a camera to the dash and basically just kind of have like sort of like on the road show.
They were pretty great. I remember the first one. I was like in tears. I was laughing so hard. That
is a highlight.
It was pretty great.
It was like the dumbest picture too. Because
every time I looked at Anthony, he was like, for Anthony to edit the recap on Wheels, it took like 3 times as long as it needed to because he just kept watching it the same shit over and over again, laughing.
I did. I probably did.
I was looking over at Anthony. And I'm like, wait, didn't he just watch that exact same section like 3 times now?
I watched that section all the time. Every time I look back at E3, like I even went to the point of even shoving it into the Canon camcorder video thing that I did a week or 2 ago.
What section was it again?
It was like the section. Wait, of that video?
Yeah.
Wait, which video? Do you mean the Canon video or the?
No,
E3?
What was the section of that recap on Wheels that you kept watching over and over again?
It's literally the beginning of part 1 when we first attempt to tape the camera to the dashboard.
Oh,
I love how
that was pretty great.
I realized this after a day, but you guys kept doing it, so I never questioned it. And I'm like, why don't we tape it before we start the car? And like, and fucking no one else thought of this. And I'm like, oh, they must have a reason. And I bring it up, and everyone's like, why didn't you bring this up earlier? And I'm like, because I did.
Honestly, it's pretty funny because they get to watch all be stupid on camera, and like we can't fake stupidity on that level. I'm just sorry, we can't fake that.
Yeah, that was totally unscripted.
Like, we realized we could tape this to the windshield. That is a much better taping spot than the dashboard because the tape does not stick to the dashboard. So, there's that. But, yeah. Man, that old camera, despite the fact it's from 2007, uses a Memory Stick Pro, which I think is a PSP type of memory stick also. Because it's Sony. Because Sony loved proprietary in the day.
They still do.
Yeah, but even then, that 2007 Sony like has really great stabilization because you could just mount it on top of the dashboard of the car, and it does a really good job with noise and the fact that it doesn't actually pick up any vibration coming from the engine or anything, and it handled us driving down the road pretty darn well.
Man, I'm just what? That's my whole response to that. Just like what? What the fuck were we thinking? Like, none of us thought of that? Like, really? And then, like, why didn't I mention it? Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I'm just like, I think what I was thinking is, like, okay, they're, like, this is staged, right? Like, that was my initial thought. Then after a couple of days...
No, it wasn't staged. It was basically me and Nick. Apparently, you've got the senior producer and the engineer student sitting in the front of the car not knowing how to get this camera to stick on the dashboard. And here's the college dropout in the back figuring out the solution for us way before he told us anything.
Oh, sorry, that was funny.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
College dropout.
Yeah.
Fucking
English major, by the way.
Yeah, so double useless.
That is good.
Fucking, like, I don't deny, like, you think about the shit you can do with an English degree, it's like, you can fucking be a paralegal or an English teacher. That's about it. You know? But...
Oh, that's good.
Man. Like, that, I mean, there's some other stuff you can do, but, like, the ones where you, like, if you want to make any sort of a career out of it, it's like journalism, English teacher, paralegal. That's it. Yeah, that is a fucking short list. God. Now that was weird. What else happened at last E3 that was fucking hilarious? Oh yeah.
Kyrie snorting donut powder.
Oh yeah,
obviously when you have drunk people around, they notice instantly for some reason.
And then
we got a lot of attention at our table with that.
Yeah, that guy who just came up to us and like, you guys are really cool.
See, this is what I'm worried about. See, Sony, this is why your conference looked so well, is because everyone's kind of buzzed. Like, yeah, none of us drank. We just ate lots of food and soda. But, yeah, they handed out, like, free beer. So, obviously, everyone took up with the free beer, and I'm just sitting there getting a little concerned. I'm just like, okay, gonna be a little careful, because one of these guys is probably gonna attempt to drive.
Man, I remember that. I remember getting, like, fucking took me forever, but I finally convinced Bremen to play the dancing games with me, and we got footage of that. That was fun. John, you are my dance partner this year, correct? Hello? Did I just... John? Are you the one playing the dancing games with me this year?
Oh, absolutely. I'll play the singing games with you. I don't care.
Just Dance 2016, here we go.
Fuck yes. Okay.
Because the thing is that if you want to actually learn how to dance and look like you know what you're doing, Dance Central. If you want to just have a fun time and look stupid doing so, Just Dance.
Oh yeah, like if you
especially like when you have like Wiimotes, like when you have Wiimotes.
Just Dance.
If you want to dance with some hot chicks, go to the Nintendo booth and play Just Dance.
Yeah, like that's what's gonna happen.
I don't know. I just found it a lot more fun to watch, at least because it's just like pick the hardest song you've got.
Oh my god! Oh man, no, I said no. What I told them was pick the most embarrassing song you have.
Oh, okay.
What did they pick?
They picked Hero, like that I Need a Hero song. Yeah, so John, I intend to do the same thing this year, so...
That sounds good to me.
Alright, cool.
You have a partner who is along for the ride.
Yeah, in fact, I believe our group is going to be me, you, and Tori, so I know she is willing to play those stupid games. In fact, there's footage of her on the internet playing Dance Central Gangnam Style. So... yeah, like we are gonna have plenty of dancing videos at E3 this year. Fuck yes. Yeah. Oh man.
Cool. Moving along. So I was thinking about it. Sony. It seems like Sony doesn't have games this year, but I'm starting to think that maybe it's just we're looking at it in the wrong way. Maybe they do have games. It's just that the fact that they're spreading them out. So. The Order 1886 came out. Some people didn't like it. Some people liked it. Bloodborne came out. Bloodborne's gotten very, very good feedback. Well, now, a game that people have seemed to have forgotten. I know I've forgotten about it. Until Dawn.
Yeah, that game seems interesting. Like
it's an upcoming adventure survival horror game being developed by Supermassive Games and published by Sony. If you do not know who Supermassive games that they have worked on are... Walking with Dinosaurs. They worked on the PlayStation Vita version of Little Big Planet. Killzone HD, which was the first Killzone put into HD on the PlayStation 3. Doctor Who, Start the Party, and Start the Party Save the World. Tumble, and Big Match Striker. So I've only heard of a couple of those games.
Okay, so Little Big, I still say Little Big Planet on the Vita is the best Little Big Planet. So this gives me some hope.
But yeah, so Until Dawn, it's coming out August 25th.
Yeah, I mean that's neat. It seems like an interesting idea, but because it's from such a small developer and they're kind of an unknown quantity, like it's hard to get excited for that. Like it's hard to be like, this game looks fucking amazing. Like I mean, it could be cool. Like I have some friends who are interested in that game. I know a couple people who love horror movies and are really interested in that game. But I'm kind of not big on that genre. Like point-and-click adventure games, like I like really old ones. And I like what Telltale has done. But other than that, it's mostly just kind of like, yeah, that's cool. And then I look at what else is there. Like there's like that genre is so. There are few people making games in it, so it's hard to, I guess, be excited and know what's coming from them. Especially, like I said, smaller, lesser-known developer. But who knows? I might be wrong. It might be fucking awesome. So.
Yeah. Also, they announced. I mean, if you're a fan of any Prison Break, The Big Lebowski, any fans of either one of those shows?
The Big Lebowski is a movie, and I think it's a great film.
Oh, yeah, the movie, yeah. Peter Stormare, who they say you might recognize from Prison Break or The Big Lebowski, he is their latest cast member for the game.
Huh. I forgot which one. Does anyone remember who he is in The Big Lebowski? Because I don't keep up with actors.
I do not.
I've been meaning to rewatch that movie. It is a really funny movie.
So yeah, Until Dawn coming out August 25th. So that's going to be the third Sony game to come out this year.
Let's see.
And on Microsoft, how many games does Microsoft have out this year so far?
Scream Ride and Oni and the Blind Forest.
Which are both, those aren't full retail releases.
Scream Ride's a full retail.
Yes, okay, yeah, Scream Ride. So Sony's this will be Sony's third retail release, and Microsoft only has one. So I don't know, like if Sony announces one game, technically as far as the amount of games, Sony would pretty much be offering the same amount. It's just that with Microsoft, they would all be coming out this holiday season versus Sony that's kind of spread them out.
Yeah, and I would say Microsoft's matter a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, like, fucking Halo, Tomb Raider, Forza, and like Bloodborne's an amazing game, and it definitely matters. Like, it's one of the best games of the year. It's one of the biggest games of the year. But it's also a game that it kind of has niche appeal, for the most part. And it has niche appeal, and then like you set that next to, I would say that it's not much higher quality than Oni and the Blind Forest. Like I would give both those games a 9. Well, I did review Oni and the Blind Forest, or Ori, sorry, and I did give it a 9. And then Bloodborne, I've been working my way through, and like my problem with Bloodborne is like every time you play it is a boss fight. It is the most amazing fucking game I've ever played. The boss fights in that game are the most entertaining part of that game. But when it is not a boss fight, it can be frustrating as hell. And I think that's mainly just because the highs in that game, the best of them, come from the boss fights. And oh man, it's just like nothing like if you want to talk about like my favorite moment of this year in games so far, it is just every time you beat a boss in Bloodborne, it is just the most goddamn satisfying thing imaginable. Like John, you've been playing Bloodborne, right?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I've been playing mostly The Witcher, but yeah, I played enough.
And what boss did you beat last? Like, do you remember it?
No, I don't remember it.
Okay, well, okay, so I believe you're, how many bosses in are you then? Like, how many have you killed?
About 3 or 4.
3 or 4? Like, how fucking amazing is it when you kill a fucking boss in that game?
It really is, especially when you die 5 or 6 times and then finally you kill it.
Yeah, like, it is I don't know why, it's just so satisfying. Like, when figuring out the tactics and, gearing up and, and here's the thing, typically if a boss fight seems needlessly difficult, you're underleveled. Like, that's That's kind of the magic trick I've started to figure out.
A lot of it is based on strategy. So that's why, of course you need to be at a high enough level to absorb damage and stuff, but you also every boss is fought way differently. And I think that's where some of that good feeling comes from, is like you finally succeeded after, this triumph of this big ass boss. And usually these bosses are just monstrous. So it's like, I just defeated this badass monster and it was kicking my ass and blah blah blah. And then not only that, but you can have conversations with other people who played Bloodborne about it, and that's kind of cool too. Like you and I are talking about right now.
Yeah, it's like this weird side game where like every time I, kill a boss, I immediately want to go talk to Ray or Bremen or you about it. Like recently, I did the Shadows of Yharnam with those 3 shadows, and like I just had to, like I figured out that everyone I've talked to for that fight, and Bloodborne in general, has a different strategy for it. Like every single person I've talked to, I'm not. Like, Ray spec'd his character to do as much damage as possible, but not as much into being able to dodge or, like, take hits. Versus me, where I spec, like, all my shit into being able to dodge more and attack more. I'm kind of curious, like, how did you build your character so far? Like, what have you spec'd into?
A lot of strength. A lot of strength and a lot of health.
Okay,
but I'm gonna be completely honest. I've been playing literally nothing but The Witcher, so I can't remember.
It's okay. Like I'm the opposite. Like I've been like I got The Witcher and I played a bit, like enough of it to be able to commentate on it, but I'm not significantly far in that game. Yeah.
It's a great game. All of you guys should play the hell out of it.
It's freaking amazing.
Both of those are awesome games. I kind of prefer Bloodborne so far, but that's probably just because like the more Western style of RPG, like Dragon Age and The Witcher, typically don't appeal to me.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's how you'd feel about it, but you like it, so that's
like that says fucking everything about that game. Where it's a Western RPG where I'm not like fuck this game.
Yeah,
because that list is super small. It's like the Mass Effects and Oblivion, and like Witcher 2, and even Witcher 2. There are points where I'm just like, man, this is the dumbest thing ever, having to walk everywhere. Yeah, and I think it's the differences between a Western RPG and a JRPG or action-adventure game that The Witcher does a good job of not making them seem as prominent. Like, there are times where The Witcher just feels like a very exploration-heavy action game, and its combat isn't bad or frustrating, and like there's just a lot about it that most other Western RPGs don't do.
Oh, for sure, I understand. Everyone has their different strokes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
so Nick,
talking about The Witcher is the perfect segue. So with The Witcher 3, us playing it on the best platform on the PC. We've been getting the recent patches for The Witcher 3. Well, there's been some issues with the console versions. Supposedly, I wouldn't know about these because I'm playing on the PC, but there's reports that there's been frame rate issues on the consoles, and someone from CD Projekt Red took it to Twitter. And here's the thing. With PC, if you want to push a patch, you just push it. Versus the consoles, you have to go through a certification stage with Sony and Microsoft. So they said the patches are done, but they're in certification right now. So hopefully they'll get released this week. But it all comes down to Sony and Microsoft certifying them.
See, frame rate issues.
So I've been playing okay, sorry. I was just saying my take because I have been playing the console version. I haven't noticed any of those really. I did notice when Ray was playing, a man's body disappear. Did you guys please tell me you saw that screenshot he posted?
Yeah, it was
I didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was. So it was a floating head, like it was fucking a giant floating head. Vesemir, like Uncle Vesemir from the game. Like he didn't have a body; he just was a head, and
That's
he was
pretty
like,
great.
and he was like that until way later in the game. Like he didn't have, like when we were fighting the Griffin, didn't have a body; it was just a floating head. Cutscenes, floating body, or floating.
You guys
head,
should have
no
recorded that.
I think he did. I just don't think we did post. I know he screenshotted it for sure, but I'm not sure if he recorded it. Yeah, like I just go into the living room, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he's like, "Weird shit." That's basically it. Like that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't run into many problems, but then again, like I said, I'm not super far into the game.
As far as frame rate problems, I actually have seen frame rate problems on my end, and I don't know what the cause of it is, because... So what happens is that I would put the game on Ultra, and I would turn Hairworks off, and this gives me really good frame rate on my system. It's like 50... I could tell it's like maybe at least... I'd say it's like at least 50 frames per second, which is great, absolutely amazing. But it would keep having these little stutters every 2 or 3 seconds, and it drove me nuts. So what I did was that I basically just frame rate capped the game to 30, which is a little painful to watch because it's like, oh...
Well, you shouldn't have to do that because, John, you're running a 960 and you're running in 60 frames, right?
No, well, no, I actually... I've been playing on 30 without even noticing it, and then I started noticing that it kind of felt a little slower. So I looked at it, and I was running on 30, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to turn it to 60. And I turn it to 60, and I'm having the same, or I was having the same exact issues that Anthony's talking about right now.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, so
it
not
was like
quite 60.
Yeah, the frame rate's great, but it would have these little stutters every 2 or 3 seconds, and it drives me nuts because it's not a smooth 50, 60 frames per second. That's the problem. And I'm just like, well, supposedly this game is the love child of NVIDIA because it's highly endorses Hairworks and all. I'm just going to keep being on Hairworks until I can't anymore.
I love the fact that Hairworks really adds so little to that game visually, and you fucking turn it off and you get 20 extra frames for most video cards. And in some cases, anywhere from like 15 to 20. Like, it's insane. What just turning off that shit does.
But yeah, I capped it to 30, and it's so much smoother now. And the game actually looks really good. Didn't get that far. Basically, got to the starting point of 60-minute access is how far I've got. So I didn't get far at all because I don't have time currently. But
I feels you.
I got myself a thing that makes my PS4 controller look like an Xbox One controller, and that's pretty darn amazing because I'm like, oh, sweet, sweet relief. I don't have to use a freaking keyboard for this game.
I can't imagine playing that with a keyboard.
Yeah, actually you can't, because I suggest you wouldn't, because it just puts your hand in awkward positions. Like to dodge, you have to hold Alt and then the direction on the ASDW stuff, and I'm like, this is not a really good way to play this game. Not to mention, there's so many buttons on the keyboard that I'm like, so which button opens up my character inventory again? Because the escape key only opens up the system menu; it doesn't open up the game menu.
If it's not a poorly designed game, as far as it should be tab. I always associate
tab opens up your little magic stuff. It doesn't show you inventory and your lovely stuff. I forgot. That's the problem with the keyboard. If I open up the system menu and look and memorize every single key binding, I'm pretty sure I could figure it out pretty easily. But
it's a PC game, so shouldn't you be able to customize your key bindings?
Oh yeah, you could if you wanted to, but I didn't want to do that because I just gave up and got something that makes my PS4 controller like an Xbox One controller, and problem solved. Much easier.
I would just plug my
much
Xbox
easier.
controller.
Analog stick is absolutely amazing. Love it. At least in this type of game. Dodging is so much easier. I just point in direction, push X on the PlayStation controller, which is A on the Xbox One controller, and I dodged. Look, no awkward hand position. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, also, what were you saying, John?
Oh, I was going to say, it's good that you had someone send you that link because, you know, I've been waiting forever for it, but I'm glad you got it, dude.
Because
that was indirectly a shot at me. I know it.
Okay, you have an Xbox controller. Like, it's fucking not that big of a deal for you.
But we can also, if you want, Bronson, we can go into why the Xbox controller is inferior to the PlayStation 4 controller. But we don't have enough time for that.
I agree with you for pretty much everything except shooters. Like, I prefer
the thing
those
is that I actually prefer the Xbox controller.
Yeah,
PS3 controller I just felt was just... I mean, the PS4 controller is more comfortable. That's great. That's absolutely the PS3 controller just kind of had... I don't know, it starts cramping up my hand after about 2 or 3 hours of straight playing, whereas the 360 controller, I feel it has the better triggers because it makes it better for racing games, and with the exception of the D-pad, it works pretty well.
Yeah, the 360 controller's D-pad was a piece of shit, but I really...
but you could get a D-pad, but it's an optional extra.
The thing I don't like about the 360 beyond the D-pad is I like symmetrical analog sticks, and for whatever fucking reason, Microsoft is like not an option. So whatever. I was like, okay, fine. I will have to go to PlayStation for that. But this generation, the multiplats tend to be superior. Like, of the consoles, the multiplats tend to be superior on PlayStation, so I don't have to worry about picking. Yeah, man. Anyway, what's the next news story?
That was all the news I had.
Oh, wow, okay.
Unless I'm missing anything, which is very possible.
So, guys,
there's a rumor of a... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Small reminder for all of you who have Club Nintendo and haven't redeemed all your coins yet. Your coins are going to disappear for good at the end of June, so hurry up, people. Get your stuff. I got the Majora's Mask jigsaw puzzle.
Oh,
nice. Comes in a bag.
I picked...
And I'm going to have to figure out a day when I'm going to put that whole jigsaw puzzle together, and... Man, it's been a long time since I've done anything jigsaw.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember, what was it? Oh yeah, I picked up the messenger bag. The Majora's Mask messenger bag. It is kind of small. But not the worst thing I've gotten off there for sure. Anyway, Halo ODST for the Xbox One. It leaked yesterday that it was supposed to come out on May 29th. But they said that is a placeholder date for the ODST campaign for the Master Chief Collection. We are continuing to test and make the final announcement, and our release date is determined. Apologize for any confusion. But this shit is supposed to come out with the May update for that game. So to the update they put out every month to update playlists and do some other shit. So it's okay, it either has to come out within 2 days of that, or it's not coming out with this update.
Yeah, it's not coming out with this update.
Yeah, which is a super bummer. I would love, I want them to put that and Reach on the Master Chief Collection, just so I can have all the Halos in one box.
Yeah, they really need to put Reach on there. That's all I want.
Yeah, Reach is the best Halo.
Reach is one of only 2 shooters I ever really, really liked.
Halo Reach...
Even though I really, really sucked at the online. Woo! Lots of good memories with there.
They need to put Halo Reach, and then... Well, they need to finish putting ODST, then they need to put Reach. I will happily pay money for them to put fucking Reach on that damn machine.
Technically, you can count it as a Master Chief game because there's a 2-second shot of him at the end.
Because that game in the storyline is what makes it so he could do his job in Halo 1?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
man, that ending scene is pretty awesome.
That and ODST.
I'm not joking. I think think of that game. I'm just that game looks really modern. Still, I think back to it.
I think that, Bungie knew it was their last Halo game, and they made the best Halo game that Bungie could make. And it turned out to be, so far, the best one. And I love the end of that game. The end of that game is absolutely...
Oh, man, so good.
Yeah, that part where you're where it's survive, and you can't win. You literally cannot win.
It's very Red Dead-esque. That. Love it.
Which came out the same year, a couple months beforehand, actually, funnily enough. But yeah, I love that. I love the firing the cannon at the end. I enjoyed that. Oh man, there's just so much good shit about Reach. The multiplayer is probably the best and most balanced it's ever been. Armor lock was kind of annoying, but it wasn't the end of the fucking world like some people make it out to be. Just that
anytime
game,
you put
about
invincibility into anything, don't complain.
Yeah, but you can't do anything. So all you can really do is just turtle until and hope that a teammate comes to help you. So that's about it. And it has an EMP feature. All that shit is it's basically just the equipment from Halo 3 built into your armor. That's all that shit is. It's speed boost, which is sprint, jetpack, which is the launch pad, armor lock, which is bubble shield and EMP. All that's basically what that is. And people lost their shit over it. Whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know. Reach is great. I want that campaign. I want to be able to play all the Halos on my fucking Xbox One. That's a whole... that and a few other games are the only reasons I would ever go back to my 360.
But they'll make more money if they made a standalone game.
Fine. I will be more upset, but... if that's the route they want to go, I will pay for it reluctantly.
So, hey, last news story. I just found this randomly. Hey, who here likes Majora's Mask? A lot.
I do.
I love Majora's Mask. The game's awesome.
Would you like to have a Majora's Mask lamp?
Sure.
Well, too bad it's not coming to America, because in the rest of the world, Club Nintendo is offering a Majora's Mask lamp for 6,000 stars in Europe and 4,000 stars in Australia and New Zealand. And it's basically a 12 centimeter by 12 centimeter little thingy. And you have until September 30th in those countries to get it before Club Nintendo shuts down for good.
Fuck you, Nintendo. That's my response to this, is fuck you, Nintendo. I love some of the games that Nintendo makes, but, I can't tell you how many times every year I just end up saying the words come out of my mouth. Well, fuck you too, Nintendo. Do you hate money? Because, yeah, okay, I get it's a Club Nintendo thing, so you're not gonna, charge for it. But, if Nintendo said, come to our online store, buy this fucking lamp, I totally would. Absolutely would. No, they hate money. Just like Amiibos. Where are the little Mac Amiibos?
It's more like Nintendo of America, because Nintendo of Europe, it's this collector's edition has a scarf. Look, guys, you've got the last story and Xenoblade and Pandora's Tower, and then it took an entire petition to get those 3 games to even show up in North America. I think it's more Nintendo of America than Europe. Europe, I think, actually is making pretty darn popular decisions.
Well, first off, that's because Europe is their weakest market by far, and that goes back to their time in the 80s, because Nintendo and the early 90s. Nintendo was not a power force, a heavy hitter there during that time, so they didn't build up years and years of nostalgic fans for Nintendo. Sega and more so the PC market kind of owned Europe, and then it was all Sony. Okay, gaming history hour is over, kids. But yeah, man, I don't know. Nintendo Japan is what gets final say on everything, and pretty much their American and European divisions agree. Their Japanese one is back asswards. But like, I think Nintendo of Japan, and to a lesser extent Nintendo of America, hate money. Like, that's it, right? Like, that has to be it. Like, I would happily pay for several amiibos that are not available right now. I would, like, there are so many characters and just different shit with amiibos, with certain memorabilia that they just, whatever reason, don't want to put outside of take outside of Japan or Europe. I don't know why. So anyway, that's my take on it.
Well, you guys know my take on it, though.
Yeah, there was that editorial you wrote. I don't know. I said it a gazillion times. Nintendo's a constant love-hate relationship. One day you love them, the next you're just like, WTF.
Like, I think the Wii U is still the best console of this generation. Like, I put the most time into the Wii U. It has the best exclusives. It is the system I see myself going back to all the time. But, like, it is just surrounded by a horrible ecosystem and a bunch of other just shitty crap Nintendo does. Oh, man. It's just the worst. The absolute fucking worst.
Okay.
All right.
So, questions.
Do we have one?
There aren't any.
Anthony's just bumming people out.
Hey, look, I'm just sharing the misery with our listeners tonight because it's not like we've had stellar weekends either, except for John.
Anthony just shared all the disappointing news.
Anthony's the negative Nancy this week.
Hey, don't worry. Someone has to be it every week. Normally it's me. Well, it's true.
It's better than there was a time where every freaking week Bronson would rant about the damn Vita.
Okay, well that was just because like every week some news would come out about the Vita that was just awful. And it's just like, I want this system to do well, and I actually still do love the Vita. I think that's how you started every single topic too. I really wanted the system to do well. That's how you always started it. I loved the PSP. The PSP is one of my favorite systems ever. I think it is one of the most underrated systems of all time. But like, I was hoping the Vita would just like be another PSP. Just like, it's underrated, selling decent enough to get.
Do you see what you did, Nick? Do you see what you did?
I do see what I did.
Yeah, Nick knows. He started this. That's why he did it. He wanted me to go. No, God, like, I frequently use my Vita, and I think that if you are willing to look, there are amazing games on that system. Problem is, they're shit that, like, the average person just...
Oh, and they're 20 years old, by the way, because of the classics are the only great games on the Vita now.
I mean, there's, like, Rogue Legacy. That was new. That was on Vita.
Yeah, that's also on my PS4.
Yeah, but like,
you can keep going.
You can't... Like, as someone who has to ride public transportation or catch rides with his roommate, like, I find a lot of value in having games like Shovel Knight and Rogue Legacy and shit like that portable. And in a lot of cases, it's a better place to play those games in a lot of cases. Because, Rogue Legacy is a game that I don't want to play on a TV for whatever reason. Like, there's something about that game, I just prefer playing it on a portable. So getting that game, in that format to me is more enjoyable. It's the same thing with Nick and Hearthstone. Just like that has no real desire to play it on a PC, but on the phone. That's what makes sense. And that's how I am with Shovel Knight. Like, I have no desire to play Shovel Knight on a PS4 or an Xbox One. But I will play that game for hours on the Vita. So.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. That also last year Vita had like Danganronpa. That was an awesome Vita game. What else came out on Vita? Like Final Fantasy X. Yeah, I realize it's a 14-year-old game, but once again, portable. Christ, what else came out on Vita recently? Disgaea 4, they ported that over. But yeah, it's at this point in its life, it is indie games and like portable remakes. So real shame, because once again, PSP was fucking awesome.
The Vita is not so awesome.
Vita's okay. I would give the Vita.
But it's really not. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how you're not angry that you wasted $200 for something that.
Because I didn't though. Because I really enjoyed Luminous. Like, I got a solid 2 years of games that I really fucking enjoyed, and now I just get occasional indie releases on it that I enjoy. Because I really enjoyed Luminous, Little Big Planet. I mean, my favorite game of all time is on the Vita. So,
I mean, I occasionally dust my Vita, but that's like the only amount of action it gets. Especially when my 3DS is right by it.
Yeah, like my 3DS though, because I am not super big on Monster Hunter, I see the appeal. It's just not for me.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're a blasphemer.
Because I'm not big on Monster Hunter, that I'm just like, well, okay. Like, there's not much out on this system right now. Mario Golf, I got that for free. That's been fun.
Yeah, Mario Golf is fun.
What else have I played? I'm trying to think what else I played on the 3DS that's been fairly recent. I haven't bought a game for it since Smash.
I've been meaning to pick up Xenoblade, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean,
it's this year. It's pretty much just been what Majora's Mask, Monster Hunter, and Xenoblade.
Majora's Mask. That was the one. Yeah, that was the one I bought. I'm just haven't going to sink much time into it. I'm considering like I'm thinking that's going to be what I do on the ride back down, on the ride down to Los Angeles. So, is that all we got, guys?
Think so.
I think that's it.
Great. Time to chill our crap and then call it a night. Alright, guys. We are on Facebook, The Gamer Access, Twitter, @The Gamer Access, twitch.tv/The Gamer Access, YouTube, The Gamer Access, though our videos go up late, so you'll want to go to the site, thegameraccess.com, if you're catching this on iTunes. If you are not catching this on iTunes, go to iTunes, download it, give us positive reviews. The higher we go up the iTunes charts, the more publicity we get. Good for us. Thank you. We'll be back next week. Why is that funny?
It was so abrupt. Like, all right, let's bounce as soon as we can.
Well, one of us has to go to sleep, so that's the problem. And I actually still have not eaten today, so I would like to eat.
No, Bronson, you don't get to eat today.
Fine. I'm losing weight. That's healthy, right? That's a good way to lose weight. Just not eat anymore.
Yeah, girls do it all the time. It's no big deal.
Yep. All right. Awesome. God, we are horrible people. We're fucking just the worst. We are the fucking I will listen to the Bombcast and hear their stories about how when they lived out in the middle of nowhere, they would shoot golf balls into empty houses and shit. And I'm like, oh, I've done things like that. And I come on here and I talk to you guys, and I'm like, oh God, we're fucking horrible people. Oh man, Jesus. All right, well, peace, everyone.
See you guys.
All right.
Bye.